Thanks for joining us for this unboxing video. We're super excited. We just picked up a 12-inch DeWalt sliding double bevel compound miter saw. That's a mouthful. We're going to replace our 10-inch chop saw with this saw, so we want to share an unboxing with you. This is the 779 model, which is a little bit important. There's 3 different models currently on the market. I won't touch on them in depth, but basically this is the predecessor to the current model, which is a 780. And the fundamental difference is I don't believe this has the laser guide on it. The 780 has that. So let's get started on our unboxing. Looks like the material clamp is here. Looks like the dust collection bag, which it does come with, is here. Bugaboo's come to help. Alright, let's take a look in the box. Alright, so in the box, this piece of plastic. Looks like it's kind of pinched in there by the saw. Let's see how hard this thing is to get out of here. There we go. That's everything in the box. All right, super excited about this saw. Finally got it out of the box. It took us a long time to decide to buy one new. We've actually been looking at used models for a long time and just finally pulled the trigger on a new one. Looks like there's a few last bits of packaging here. Get those off of here. There's the cord. A little bit of foam that keeps the slider from rolling around. All right, so let's take a real close-up look at this together, and kind of look at some of the features that we wanted in this saw. All right, one of the first features that we wanted in this saw, obviously, is the sliding system. So we're cutting a lot of timbers and beams and things, and we wanted something that could cut all the way through. So slider was really important. 12-inch saw was really important too, so we can get maximum depth cut. I believe this saw will cut a 14-inch wide 2x, so a 2x14 in a single pass. So that was super important for us. Our existing saws, they all use this like screw type clamp, and I noticed a lot of the cheaper saws still use that mechanism. And in my experience, it's not very accurate. So I know it's operator error probably, but this system seems much more precise to me. It's a push button and the whole head pivots, and when you get it right where you want it, push this lever down and it's locked into place. It's not going anywhere. Seems like a far superior system than the old screw knob that seems to wiggle its way out of place. So I definitely like that system. The cast bed on this one seems very stout and solid. It doesn't have a lot of the bells and whistles that some of the other models like the Rigid and the Ryobi and these other models have, but the base seems really firm, which is really important for accurate cuts. So this saw comes with a blade installed, it looks like, so that's really cool. It's a 12-inch DeWalt blade, so no installation or assembly required there. In fact, it looks like out of the box it's pretty much ready to go. I have to install the dust collection system and the material clamp there. The head does come in the locked position, so there's a small locking pin. Just relieve the pressure on the head by pushing down. Pull this locking pin out and the head will release. Now you got full motion of the saw. One of the important factors for the saw actually was a limiting mechanism for the depth, so that we can control the depth of the saw. So let's take a little bit closer look at that system. It's on the other side over here. So this depth guide here controls the limit of the saw as you plunge down. That was really important for us because we want to be able to cut things like dado joints, half flaps, stuff like that on this saw. So when you flip this knob up, you get full plunge, so you can cut all the way through whatever material you're working on. By flipping this down and then making small adjustments with this, first of all, thumb screw or thumb nut or wing nut, and then this thumb screw, you can control the depth of the plunge, which is important for some of the joints and things that we'll be doing. So this is one of the reasons that we went for this saw. Not all saws have that. This is a double bevel saw. What that means is that the base swivels, so you can actually change the angle of your cut on your material. And then the head actually also pivots on this axis, so you can cut 2 angles at one time. I'll take a little closer look at the second bevel back here. All right, and the second bevel is back here, so this large knob will allow you to pivot the head of the saw so that you can cut a secondary angle. And there are limits to the saw. I don't have those in front of me, but if you want to do some research on the make and model, you can find out what the limits. You can't cut maximum angle on every side. So if you're unsure about that stuff, do your research before you buy the saw. So it looks like the fence here is adjustable. So there's a small thumb screw back here. You loosen and you can move the fence out, which is a feature I didn't even know this saw had. So that's kind of helpful. Give it a little extra flat spot to work on. The base does have handles here on the side, and then also a handle up on top. Super good for portability. It's a pretty heavy saw. I think it's like 63 pounds, something like that. So these features are nice. All right, so first impressions with the unboxing are very, very good. We of course have very high expectations of DeWalt because of their reputation. In fact, that's probably one of the strongest buying decisions that we had to weigh out in purchasing this model. There's just something about the DeWalt name that's been there for a long time, and it's got a reputation for quality. I know a lot of people say that DeWalt's quality's dropped, but I think at the end of the day, tools for us are an investment. And at the end of the day, if you can sell it, it's a good tool. If nobody wants it, it's just junk. And so there are a lot of other models. I know at Harbor Freight you can get something as cheap as 125 bucks. And in fact, there are models that are more complicated or sophisticated than this for $700, $800, $1,200. So, you know, buying decision you'll have to make on your own. But would we recommend this saw? Absolutely. I think we paid in the neighborhood of $400 for this, and I think that this is available on Amazon. We'll track the link down if it's available, and we'll put it in the description below. I can confirm now that the difference between this saw and the 780 is that this does not have the laser guided system. Although to be fair, I don't think I'd ever trust a laser. I just always double check my work, right? Measure twice, cut once. Overall, it seems like it fits what we expected as far as quality. The adjustment mechanism here is good. The blade's pre-installed. Everything seems to work fine. The build quality is good. The slider seems very firm. There's no movement. The grip handles are all well designed, so you don't break your saw trying to transfer it, which we've done with some of our chop saws. So overall, definitely excited to get this thing ripping. We've actually got a couple of 4x4s that we've been milling out of some trees. So we'll probably do a first cut on one of those and see how the saw performs. So we're gonna do a test because one of the reasons that we bought this saw was we wanted to be able to cut a 4x12 cross cut in a single pass without using a skill saw or anything like that. So we're gonna take this true 4-inch just piece of waste, we're gonna cut it into thirds and then see if we can cut it in one single pass by stacking it 3 deep. So let's do that. All right, so the answer is yes. This is actually a little over 12 inches, but you can cut a true 4x12 on a single pass. We'll have to see if we can cut a 14-incher on there, but pretty good cut. Everything seems to be running properly. The saw's nice and sharp from DeWalt. Obviously, that's a no-brainer. The cuts are super clean. Everything's very crisp. The saw is very straightforward to operate. You can't ask for any more from this saw. First impressions with cutting, it's a little confusing because they actually have a rubber grommet on this side that pinches the saw. I say rubber, it's actually steel that pinches the saw, and it kind of reduces the cutting depth, but I can see now that it's actually limited by the mechanism over here, the gear mechanism. So just probably takes a little bit of getting used to, but once you're up and running, it definitely cuts clean and nice. The motor's nice and quiet. I could totally see running this even in the evening hours if you're in like a residential area. Out here we run chainsaws at 11 o'clock at night, so we can get away with anything. We didn't do any testing on the dust collection system, but You know, if you had this in a workshop, that's probably something you'd want to try out. Out here, we like to make sawdust and put it on the ground. Well, that does it for this unboxing. We're super excited to use this saw on projects around the homestead. So we're building our own timber frame home. We're just about to complete our hot tub deck. In fact, that's what we've been working on, is the posts for the hand railing. So if you enjoyed this unboxing video, you want to learn more about the tools that we're purchasing on this journey and see more unboxings, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll put a subscribe button right here by the saw. Please click that button and subscribe. It means a lot to us. If you'd like to learn more about our journey too, you can follow us on our blog. It's purelivingforlife.com. Not everything we do makes it to YouTube. So if you want to follow the journey, please visit our blog. It's purelivingforlife.com. We'll put a link in the description below. We also have a Facebook and an Instagram. Links will be below. If you like those things, we do a lot of things that never end up on the blog or on YouTube. So please follow us on those two channels, and we'll see you in the next video.